Hi everybody, this is CVGS, I'm the captain here, and welcome to another tournament fight that we have for you guys between Joshua and Yitat, our players over here, and this is a fight between Seraph and Michu. So this came from last weekend when we had our English tournament over at Toxic Card Shop last weekend. And it was a very fun event that we had over there. So with the tournament, the players were very friendly, we were very chatty, all of us kind of like got together and really talked a lot of Vanguard stuff together. And it was a fun weekend as well, so I do recommend that you guys, if you guys are in Singapore, so do be sure to stop by Toxic Card Shop and just have some fun with us. So every Saturday that we have a tournament, so whether it be Japanese or English, we encourage all. So Joshua starting in with the first turn and searching his deck for the prison, so using Kia Knight Blue's ability to search out for that prison, add it to hand, and of course he will deploy the prison immediately. So since he doesn't have to commit any other cards for it too as well, so just rest the Vanguard from there since the Vanguard cannot attack on the first turn. So it's an ideal first turn for Joshua at this point in time right now. But of course there's no consequences, so if he went second, so because he can just call down a useful unit in the next turn. And as we see the prison coming into play, soul charge 3 from the prison. Okay, quite a good soul charge, so only losing one trigger to the soul, but that's okay. Everything is all going according to Joshua's needs going down the line. So yes, as we pass the turn over to Yitat, deciding his drop for the first ride up for Michu. I have to point out also that Yitat is actually a newer player. He only just recently started playing, and the Michu deck is a deck that he has, and he's actually learning some of the ropes of it. So just let you guys know right now. So before you guys maybe start saying some things without the context of it, so it's better that I put some context into it. So. But anyways, Yitat is actually going to be riding up, and then he searches for all setup, which is the set order that will allow the flower cannonball to be able to put into the order zone without having to wait for grade 3 because it's a grade 3 order. But at the same time also, it also does pump power to it does actually pump soul, I should say, for Michu to be able to soul blast 2. So it's actually quite helpful going into the future turns. And right now Yitat just reading out all the skills that he's doing right now, just to make sure that there's clarification so that both players, especially since Joshua is also unfamiliar with the Michu deck. But he does rest it, soul charge 1, and actually plays a cannonball from hand, the flower cannonball from hand. So the flower cannonball allows him to actually draw when he's put into the order zone, which is nice, a good reload of the hand right there. And yeah, so Yitat just checking his hand just to make sure if there's anything else that he wants to call, but he is at grade 1. So he is going to be swinging for attack right now. Joshua will no guard that. Gotta wait for the drive check first. So first check, critical trigger. So 2 damage straight to Joshua this turn. So the first one goes down and the second one goes away. He lost the PG to the damage too as well. So not sure whether if that will play in down the line, but anything can still happen. So that's the nice thing about Vanguard. So. But now the imprisonment begins as Restart Pink actually comes into the Vanguard circle right now. So Restart Pink skill, your opponent needs to choose a card from their hand and put it into the prison, which isn't actually too debilitating because while you do have to pay a cost in order to get it out, but you've got plenty of resources, like say Color Blast or Soul Blast, so get like bailing cards out of the prison, so might actually be helpful to you. Also. But let's see what Yitat does also, because he could put something that's really good to call out in the next turn from the prison. And he does put Ronovia there, and Ronovia is perfect. It's a perfect card to put there because it is already online thanks to the fact that all setup is actually in there. So she does get plus 5k shield, plus 5k power too as well on the Vanguard and Guardian circles. Accused Marker Right coming down, so paying Soul Blast 1 and imprisoning another card. And Yitat's top card is actually Ronovia. So that's actually very lovely. So next turn he can actually easily call them out from prison and just straight up like have a full frontal assault with a lot of high power cards, so 30ks and whatnot. So critical trigger on Joshua's side, so power to accuse Marker Right, and the Vanguard gets plus critical. Heal trigger on Yitat's side, unfortunately does not get to heal, and it does get a critical, so it's plus 20k. So it's 28k right there against the 20k on Joshua's side for Marker Right. So Marker Right I don't think will be able to hit at all. So yeah. let's make use of the counters that I have brought over, just to make sure that you know, all the players can keep track. So not all players do have the power counters from there. They are a very good item to get, but of course also it's best to have our own counters here, just to make sure that, you know, you guys can see the power, and I can easily count the power too as well. So as we move the turn forward, it should still be Joshua deciding whether we want to. No, he passes to Ita. Ita has already stand and drew, so he's deciding what card to discard right now. He discards his critical trigger and calls out the grade 2 Michu. Alright, so the grade 2 Michu skill would be that it looks at the top 5 cards and looks for Nopno or looks for a Cannonball set order. So he's going to look at the top 5 and see what he can find. Now, this is a glitter deck. Michu is actually a glitter unit. Has the Fire Regardless ability. And so that would mean that this is actually a interesting, like, if you want to think lore wise, if you want to build up a story from this also, there's actually a nice fun story to actually go with it also. So Azitat actually misses and not able to find either one from Michu's skill. Right now we have Seraph, we have the Aurora Battle Princesses going after Michu, who's also from Vanguard 2 as well. So, you know, write your own narrative here. So the one I'm gonna write is that I think Seraph is trying to arrest Michu, who has maybe deserted Vanguard in some way and fashion and living in Lyrical Monasterio, but Michu is not gonna have it. I'm not going back to Vanguard, you can't make me, I'm studying here in Lyrical Monasterio. No, you cannot. So alright, so as Yitat is paying the cost for the prison right now, a little bit of confusion because again Yitat is a newer player, so he is not as familiar with a lot of the usual mechanics that we might be familiar with. But he is learning, slowly, surely but learning, and you know, just getting better at the game. I've seen him play a few times after that. He has gotten, he is slowly but surely getting better at playing Vanguard, so which is very, very nice to see. But he does pay the bail and calls out the two Ronoveas, and both Ronoveas get plus 5k, so that's 30k, 30k, 10k. Oof, if Joshua doesn't get a defensive trigger, so I think that this is going to be a hard guard or a lot of damage that's going to be taking it, so possibly up to 5. Alright, so Yitat just checking his hand, just making sure that, you know, of the cards that he wants to put down. So Ilse comes down behind the Vanguard right there, which is actually a pretty smart move, because Ilse will be able to get his ability proc off. Because usually at this stage in time, so most players will not guard the attack. So yeah, so Ilse's skill will be able to proc off also when the unit A boosted hits a Vanguard. But let's see whether Joshua will deny it. So no guard. So front trigger, very lovely. Additional powers to Ronovea. So they are now going in at 23k each or so. Alright. So over trigger. Over trigger. Joshua removes it from game, draw 1. 100 million. No second damage, no second damage, it's only just 1 damage. Joshua, it's only just 1 damage, so there's no critical there, so alright, Ilse's skill will be able to proc off right there. Yita just confirming whether if the skill will be able to proc off from there, because the attack does hit, even though it's an over trigger. Just because the person doesn't take damage doesn't mean that the attack does not hit. So yeah, making use of Ilse's ability, which when the attack hits, then look at the top 5 cards and you look for a unit with the glitter ability amongst them. I believe there's somebody else that you can look for too as well. Just let me double check my skills. The glitter ability or a set order among them also. So you can look for a Cannonball, but Yitat finds Nope No from the top 5 right there. And then after that sends it to the bottom of the deck. And yeah, shuffle your deck also. And then if you review the card, put it bottom of the deck also. So a little bit of misplay on Yitat's side, because what he needed to do was actually shuffle first and after that send Ilse to the bottom of the deck. So you know, ruling wise, so that is the order or as to how Ilse needs to be played. So, but that's okay, no problems there. And of course, you know, over trigger in place, so Vanguard cannot hit at all. Ronovea will not be able to hit, just attack the rear guard, get rid of the accused marker right, even though it's already spent already. But that's fine. But that's all fine indeed. So Joshua now discarding Agro Rouge and riding into Seraph Snow, and it is primed. It is prime. It is a raid. It is Aurora Battle Princess raid right now as Seraph Snow. I'm struggling to find the words. Counter plus 1 and imprisons 2 rear guards there. So 2 Ronoveas being imprisoned. The top card being imprisoned by Accused Baccarat, and it's of all things the over trigger that goes in. Oof. Hard plays from there. So the great one, let me just fetch the name very quickly right now. The great one is Suppressed Gleamer, calling down. It is a 30k booster in the back row, but its ability is that if there are 3 or more cards in the prison, when it's called down, you can actually search your deck for another copy of Suppressed Gleamer and call it the Vanguard Circle, so that bolsters the back row with 30k boosters right there. So which means Accused Baccarat will hit the magic number, even though at this stage it's not a magic number. Even though at this stage it's not really a magic number per se, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. So plus 5k, of course, Baccarat will get plus 5k because of its ability, as well as Seraph Snow getting plus 10k and plus 1 drive 2 as well, because there are 3 or more cards in prison. So the conditions are ideal so for Seraph Snow to really go all out here. So there's a triple drive. It will be 36k coming in right now. Joshua attacking Yitat. Okay, and then he plays the order card. So unfortunately, this is a misplay here as well, because the order card skill says that if your Vanguard has been hit by an attack, then you can you can play the order card and gets plus 30k. So unfortunately, it wasn't caught. A bit of misread over on all players' side. So but the turn goes on, the game still goes on. It's no problem at all. Right now is just the question on my mind right now is that with the over trigger actually being out from here, would Yitat actually try and call it out? So I think he might leave that in prison, but of course, so empty out the prison would play in favor of Yitat also. But he does have his other costs to consider as well also. You know, his Soul Blast, his Color Blast too as well. So you know, for all the things that he needs to do on his side as well. I've seen his deck list as well, and you know, he does have the cards available. He does have cards available to him also in order to make use of all those resources. But let's see, he still needs to ride up to Michu right now, and the Great Chief Michu will definitely play a huge part here and now. So right now he's adding the Michu in there. So yep, if you have all set up, then you can pay counter plus 1. There you go, and draw 1. Then call a card from your hand and call it the Vanguard Circle or discard it. So let's see who he decides to call from hand. He does have Knock No, so he actually can proc off Knock No's ability. But let's see as well. Okay, he calls down Vilne. Yeah, Vilne. Alright. So of course it has the ability that when it's really attacks the Vanguard, so it gets plus 5k if you have all set up in your order zone until the end of the battle. Then you can set a set order from the drop to the bottom to get another 5k. So it becomes a 20k booster. Another Ronovea on the other side too as well. So you know, like pacing things out right now. So he could wrap it up later right now. Even though it's a Seraph deck, so all of us do expect to see a Seraph Purelight down the line, but you know, all things considered, so Yitat is just playing as aggressive as possible. So, and if you spot, like, you know, if you are looking at his hand and such, so you can see that he doesn't have a lot to play down. So this is probably as best as he can get right now. But that's all fine and dandy here. So you should be able to go attack from there. And he is considering calling down Knock No, which I will reveal. I did ask him about it, but I will reveal it at a much later time instead of right here, right now. So, yeah. Just check out the skills just to see whether if it's worthwhile to actually make use of the Cannonball ability or even all set up too as well. Just so that he can get another soul and, you know, get another soul in at least. But right now he goes straight into the attack, so Michu just attacking right there. Now, I asked him why did he not call out Knock No, because Knock No is only 8k boost. It's only an 8k, so it won't have enough power to actually attack or hit Seraph Snow, even though it does have a drive check as well. Even though it is there for a drive check 2 as well, he wanted the power to make sure to go through because he felt that if the power wasn't going to be there, you know, drive check or no, so it's a guard, it's easy guard through and through. So attack is almost guaranteed not to hit. So that's the reason why he hasn't called no and activated the glitter ability from that. But that's alright. I think it's fair to say that Yita may be waiting for the Persona right. He might be waiting for a better opportunity, like a second Cannonball, to actually change Michu's name. There goes one Michu, so that he can get the Persona right. So that he can actually change the Cannonball ability using the Flower Cannonball to change it so that 3 units get plus 10k. So No can come down. He still has another Cannonball in there if he needs to use it, no problem at all. And then at the same time, you know, at the same time, yeah, yep. That's all that I can say at this point in time. Alright, so he's not able to activate the Vilna's ability to be able to send a Cannonball to the bottom to get additional 5. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, 3 damage on Joshua's side right now. And yeah, the turn passes over. So let's see what Joshua does. So, nope, no discard right now. You don't have any more right deck anymore, Joshua. But he does ride up to Seraph Purelight. And making use of Purelight's ability when he's placed, counter blast 1. So blast 1 Seraph from Soul. And he imprisons 2 cards from the Rearguard Circle, 2 cards in the Soul, and 2 cards from hand into the prison. And if you've been doing your math right now, Yita didn't actually empty out the prison, so that number goes up to 9 at this stage. So he does have enough to actually get the full 6 here. Yeah, it puts him up to 9. So if he has another way of imprisoning, he gets 10. And so Seraph Purelight's full ability will be able to come on also, which is that during your turn, for every 2 cards in your prison, all units in the front row gets plus 5k, and if there are 10 or more cards in the prison, all units in the front row gets plus 1 critical right now. So as we count it down, just to confirm, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 right there. He just needs 1 more, and he gets a plus 25k to the entire front row. Right now it's just plus 20k, and another accused marker right coming into play. Alright, so plus 1, imprison the top card of the deck. Doesn't matter what it is, there's 10 cards in the prison. If Joshua has another Rearguard onto that he can call onto the right side, he definitely will be able to take advantage of the full front having plus 25k plus 1 critical too as well. So yeah. Okay. Gotta put out all the dice too as well. Yes, he does have another Rearguard to call out and another Suppressed Gleamer there. So Suppressed Gleamer is 30k in the back row. This is gonna be hit very, very hard as well. Not only is it plus 25k, it's also plus 1 critical. It's also 30k. Everything is high. Everything is high powered right now. So everything is high powered. Yeah, Makarite actually plus 10k too as well. So let's count the numbers here. You know, while Joshua puts up the dice for criticals and all that. So let's count the numbers. 30k plus plus 40k. No, plus 45k. So it's supposed to be 25 instead of 20. So that Makarite is actually hitting for I believe it is like 53 if I'm not wrong. So, but anyways, the Vanguard is attacking, but Yita actually does have the Blitz Order PG. So the Blitz Order PG doesn't need to discard. Joshua can heal 1 because the damage is at 3-3 right now. So it does heal 1 and gives the power to the right side Rearguard. Barrage Litra. Second check, front trigger, so everything gets plus 10k, and another Suppressed Gleamer. So everything is super big right now. Oh, goodness gracious. So, like, entire front row, then plus the 20k on a Barrage Litra 2 as well. Okay, and now, you know, attacking with Makarite right now. It's 2 damage across the board, and Yita has no choice but to take it right now. He has been losing his PGs to the damage zone right there. Straight up 4 damage. Another one coming into play because it's two crits. So second one, no triggers at all whatsoever. no breathing space for Yitat right now. And I don't think he has enough to guard this also, especially since the mass imprisoning really did a huge number so on his hand, on his defensive capabilities. And that's a front trigger on Yitat's side, so there is no heal trigger over there. The game is over. And yeah, what a game, guys. So as we flash up the deck lists for you guys right now, as you can see, Seraph Snow playing with the usual suspects that you can see over there. Cheval Stud, no Bubble Mine, but that's okay because the deck doesn't use that much Counter Blast too. So it mostly uses the Soul Blast, which the Prison actually managed to take advantage of also. And of course, so the MVP being accused of Makarite, it's a promo card, but definitely a very, very good card. So just to get imprisonments from the deck as well, so you can actually remove the top cards of the opponent's deck. Just to get more imprisonment from there. So, and as we flash over to the Michu deck right now, as you can see, the Michu deck, Nogno actually only has 3 copies only, but I believe that Ita might not have had a 4th copy too as well. Again, a newer player on that end. So, but otherwise, the idea for the Michu deck is actually right here. So all the ideas that you're looking for in the Michu deck is all listed here right there, and definitely a Wolf War deck to follow alongside the Seraph Purelight deck too as well. So if you guys are looking to play either one of these decks, you guys can absolutely do so. And do be sure to check out our other fight video too as well. So because our other fight video that we have over here is also released at the same time, so be sure to check out that fight also. So until then,